What does it mean to truly transcend humanity? To become more than what society expects or what history has confined us to? Friedrich Nietzsche introduced a radical idea that challenges everything we think about growth, morality, and purpose, the concept of the Übermensch, or Overman. But what if I told you this isn't about being some invincible superhero or a mere alpha figure? Instead, it's a profound vision of human evolution, a call to create new values, embrace life fully, and rise above the limitations of our inherited beliefs. In this video, we'll explore the essence of the Übermensch, unravel common misunderstandings, and discover how this bold ideal might inspire us to live more authentically today. Let's dive into the transformative journey Nietzsche laid out, a path from mere survival to creative freedom. Nietzsche's Übermensch is often misunderstood as a symbol of brute strength or dominance, but this narrow view misses the true depth of his vision. The Übermensch represents the next step in humanity's development, a figure who creates their own values and lives with an unwavering affirmation of life's worth. This is not about overpowering others or maintaining the status quo. It's about breaking free from the old moral frameworks that once guided us and forging a new way forward. A way that celebrates creativity, courage, and joy. To understand why this idea is so revolutionary, we first need to consider Nietzsche's famous declaration, "God is dead." This isn't a literal statement about a deity, but rather a profound observation about the collapse of traditional moral foundations. For centuries, morality was anchored in religious beliefs, with divine authority dictating what was right and wrong. But as modernity advanced through science, philosophy, and secularism, this foundation crumbled. Without a shared divine standard, humanity faced a moral void, Nietzsche warned. This could lead to nihilism, a state where life feels meaningless and values lose their power. Enter the last man, Nietzsche's bleak portrait of humanity trapped in comfort, complacency, and mediocrity. The last man shies away from challenge, seeks only security, and lives a life devoid of passion or aspiration. This is the danger of losing faith in higher meaning without finding something to replace it. The Übermensch is Nietzsche's answer to this crisis. Unlike the last man, the Übermensch embraces life in all its complexity and impermanence. They do not seek comfort or easy answers, but instead accept the challenge of creating meaning in a world without fixed truths. The Übermensch loves existence itself, including the struggles, the pain, and the triumphs, and affirms life with a joyful and creative spirit. Nietzsche describes this transformation through a metaphorical journey made up of 3 stages, each representing a phase in the evolution of consciousness. The first stage is the camel. The camel symbolizes endurance and strength, a being who willingly carries heavy burdens and faces hardship with resilience. This stage is about accepting responsibility and obeying existing values even if they are difficult. The camel is the embodiment of discipline and perseverance, taking on the world's demands without yet questioning the moral framework itself. Next comes the lion. The lion is fierce, rebellious, and destructive. It challenges and tears down the old values that the camel once bore unquestioningly. The lion says, "I will," instead of "thou shalt," rejecting imposed duties and asserting individual willpower. This phase is necessary because it clears space for something new by dismantling outdated beliefs. Though it may seem chaotic or even nihilistic, the lion's role is essential in breaking free from inherited limitations. Finally, the journey culminates in the child. Unlike the camel and lion, the child embodies creativity, innocence, and playfulness. Having destroyed the old values, the child now has the freedom to invent new ones. This stage is not about cynicism or rebellion, but about joyful creation, a rebirth of spirit that welcomes life with open arms. The child represents the true Übermensch, who lives with spontaneity and invents their own meaning. This progression, from burdened camel to rebellious lion to creative child, is Nietzsche's way of illustrating how one can evolve beyond conventional humanity to become an Übermensch. It's not a fixed endpoint or a title given by society. It's a continual process of self-overcoming, questioning, and creating. The Übermensch's defining characteristic is not power in the traditional sense, but the courage to say yes to life. With all its imperfections and uncertainties, it's a call to reject nihilism and despair, and instead craft a personal philosophy that honors the here and now. In our modern world, where inherited values often feel inadequate or hollow, the idea of the Übermensch invites us to rethink what it means to live well. It challenges us to cultivate resilience, question authority, and embrace creativity, not just in art, but in how we build meaning in our daily lives. So, what would it mean for you to take up this mantle? Could you become the camel who endures, the lion who rebels, and the child who creates? While Nietzsche's Übermensch may sound distant or mythic, at its core, it's an invitation for each of us to rise above passivity and claim the power to shape our own destiny. The path to becoming an Übermensch is not easy, but it's one of the most empowering journeys we can take. It's about owning your existence, breaking free from old dogmas, and crafting a life that's uniquely yours. In a world that often feels fragmented and uncertain, Nietzsche's vision reminds us that true strength lies in creativity, courage, and the joyful embrace of life itself. If you enjoyed this exploration, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. What stage do you feel you're in on this journey? I'd love to hear your perspective. Thanks for watching, and remember, the future is yours to create.